Hello, I want to talk about pots and how clay pots inspire me to make wooden pots. This is an African pot, clay. It's a very practical shape. People use it to store food and and what's really remarkable about it is it's universal, this shape. You find pots this size and this kind of shape across cultures, across history. It's practical, it's pleasing to the eye, it's pleasing to the hands to hold, and it seems it's encoded in our genes. Everybody makes these. I'll show you some. So look at this. This is Chinese pots. This is 3rd century BC, so it's a while ago. That shape's familiar. There you go. 3rd century AD, 600 years later, almost exactly the same shape. This is the pot book. It's brilliant. It's full of nice designs. But specifically, this one is a Mycenaean pot. That's 1300 BC, so it's a long time ago. Almost the same shape. You should know about Maria Martinez. She's a really famous potter from the American Southwest. Almost single-handedly revived the art of pottery of the Pueblos, and she was the founder of a dynasty of potters. But look at that shape. It doesn't quite have that funnel there, but that one does. She's really famous, and her son as well. And in fact, these specifically look at pots from the American Southwest. Look at that shape. There's another one, a bit more of an incurve. Similar idea though. There you go. Again, they're variations. Some come in more, maybe a smaller opening, but it's all the same idea. So what I'm going to make now is a wooden pot inspired by these clay pots we've just looked at. It's a different medium. It'll feel and look different from clay, but I hope to capture the essence of this shape that's been part of human history since forever. Enjoy. I think we're going to have a go with this bit of wood. I've been told it's pear, so let's see what comes through. I'm going to keep the pith in, which is not what you conventionally do, but I think if we get a few splits and the like, it may make the whole thing more interesting. I think the plan is we put the belly here and the opening this end. So I'll just shape it a bit on the bandsaw so that it doesn't it's not too unbalanced on the lathe. Take some of the worst bits of the corners off and so on. This looks promising, looks like really nice wood. Let's see what happens when it gets on the lathe. Okay, I've just drilled a pilot hole in the end. That's going to be the mouth. So we want to put a foot on here and shape the bowl or the vase. Yeah, it seems to be quite happy spinning at, there was over 1,000 revs, so it's reasonably well balanced. So the first priority is get a tenon on here and do the rough shaping, and then at some point we'll flip it around and put it in a chuck. It cuts really nicely. I really like this wood, the way it feels on the tool. I think it's not going to look a lot like pottery with these in it, but it's going to be interesting. It's really nice wood. Right, I think it's time to stick it on the chuck. What I feel like is have a bit of a neck on it, although this bark's here. Probably need to get rid of the bark. And that means the pith is going to be right here at the top. We'll see. See what it does. Yeah, I think I need to get rid of this like 20 mil or so here. Got a feeling it's going to want to split really badly, and it's fruit wood, so it's not surprising. All fruit wood loves splitting. The more I think about it, the more I think we should get rid of all this. It's not going to be very stable. Yeah. There's still huge potential for mischief from this pith here. But I fancy taking the chance. It's going to be very interesting. Anyway, I'm quite happy with the shape, so I'm going to hollow it now. I just put in a pilot hole so that I've got a rough idea. When I reach to the bottom, I know I'm roughly where I want to be, so I don't have to keep on checking it. I think I'm going to rotate this as well. So I'm at the bottom of the depth hole I drilled. I think I want to go thinner than this, because if a wood like this that likes cracking is any thicker than it needs to be, it's like it's got more stuff to crack. If it's thinner, it'll warp rather than crack. So yeah, maybe half that, and then finish our hollowing. Really? Now just for the sake of variety, I'm going to use a scraper down there. See how it cuts on this wood. It leaves a really nice surface. It's great. But there's a lot more to go out. This is how a scraper should look. Monster long handle, you got nice leverage. It's much safer than the shorter ones, which I really shouldn't be using this deep into a bowl. Scrapers like these are amazing. They can remove a lot of material very quickly, but if you're gentle, they can take some really nice sweet cuts as well. So maybe I'm being a bit over fussy, but there are tool marks there at the bottom that I just want to get rid of. Yeah, I think that's good. Right, so the only job now is to flip it around and take the bottom off. So what we have is, this is just in a chuck, a bit of wood. Look, because we know where the center is, I can just do that. And we don't want to go too fast. 800 is about right, I think. Right, I'm happy with the shape. It's going to split. I mean, it's splitting already there, and it's probably going to split some more, radiating from there. But this was always going to be a fairly rustic object, I think. We'll see. I'll let it dry for a bit, and then we'll think a bit about whether it should be ebonized. I've got no idea how the pear wood, ebonizes, so we'll have to see. Right, here's our pot. It's ended up with cracks, as you would expect, and it's being a fruit wood, so it's got cracks radiating out. So let's talk ebonizing. The classic material you use is a mix of vinegar and some form of iron or steel. Typically people would use cooking vinegar of some kind and some steel wool. That works. But all that vinegar is acetic acid and water, and then some volatiles that gives it flavour. So you're better off using some cleaning vinegar, which is more concentrated, it's got less water in it. And instead of steel wool, I use this. So this is a magnetic tray that I stick at the bottom of my sharpening station, and you get this very fine steel powder come off. So if you're looking at total surface area per volume, this beats steel wool by a few orders of magnitude. You expose a lot of surface area very quickly to the vinegar, and then, as I say, I mix it with cleaning vinegar, and end up getting stuff like this. It's dark and it looks horrible. You paint that on wood and it tends to go dark. Now different woods react differently, and it's hard to tell really because it depends on the tannin content of the wood. Something like oak is famous for going really nice and dark, and woods differ. Something like pine will just go horrible grey. So I don't know how this will do. So I took a bit of cut off and I tried it out. I've got different concentrations and some of them have a bit more rusty material in them to get different shades, but my main mix is like this, and I think that'll be a nice colour. So it's not black, but it's sort of a caramelly kind of blackish, brownish colour. So we're going to try that on there. And I'm protecting the work surface, otherwise it goes all gunky. Right. Oh, I should say, when you make this stuff, the acetic acid gives off hydrogen atoms in order to bind with a steel. So you're creating hydrogen gas. So it's a really good idea not to do it in a sealed container because it'll have a concentration of hydrogen gas in there, which can't be good. So just make sure you punch holes in or leave the lid open until it's all done. That's better. Right, so just paint this on. Now you could accelerate or enhance this process by adding tea. So you might soak the object in tea, or even boil it in tea. Because the tea contains tannins, and it's actually the tannins that react with the solution to give you the colour. It takes a while. It might take a few minutes or half an hour or something. And you might end up having to put on multiple coats to get the colour you want. It's already going. Worth wearing gloves. I don't think this stuff is bad for you as such, but it does stain your hands. It's not going quite as dark yet as that, but we'll see. It might do in a minute. This is a couple hours later. It's come out this, I like the colour. It's not black, but it's a sort of a brownish, maybe a hint of terracotta colour. It's clearly not terracotta, it's wood, but that's great because that's what it is. I need to sort this out, and I'm wondering whether I should leave this to its own devices. Maybe I should for now. It's interesting, these two marks here weren't visible before I put the ebonizing solution on, but it's made it more visible. I like it really. I think it fits in with the aesthetic of this specific pot. Right, so what I need to do is drill holes, and then I'm going to wire it up with some bronze wire like this. I'm going to do the wiring up off camera because it's fiddly and it doesn't really film well. I'll show you afterwards. And here we are. It's had a couple of coats of Danish oil. I'm quite pleased with how it turned out. It's got the stitching done there. It's not completely in your face, it's a bit subtle, but it's still there. It doesn't try and hide. It's unmistakably a wooden pot. You can see the grain, you can feel it, but it has echoes of all those terracotta pots we've had a look at. I would have liked a bit more of a funnel shape, just a hint of it, but with the wood I had to take off, that wasn't very practical. But I think it sneaks inside the design parameters I set out for. So I'll claim it as a success, I think. I'm really happy. I keep on coming back to this form or variants of it. It just pleases something in me. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that.